and that as much as we're suffering, the whole world is suffering, and we have to swallow this bitter pill and just stay strong as we can. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. We have to watch how it unfolds. We have to watch, all the terms that the people have been speaking about, the flattening of the curve, and when you're passing the peak, and the epicenter, and all the terminology that's flying around. So we're following all of that. And as I say, when the situation's right, I'm positive that where there's a way, we'll find it, and we'll find it in the best, most responsible, and most diligent, thorough manner in which we can. To speak to the players, I was very clear with them that this was an unknown situation, and that we couldn't make extended promises and guarantees because nobody knew where this thing was going to go. But that we had looked at it internally. We had anticipated that there may be a knock-on effect from a financial point of view. And we calculated from our club perspective. Obviously, we had a decent season. We won the MTN 8. And we had factored in our budgets until the end of our financial period. And we felt that we could make a guarantee commitment to the players, particularly the players who weren't going to be with us for next season, that everybody's salaries would be covered until the end of June. So we gave that undertaking, and we're obviously going to stick to that undertaking. And then it'll be so for the 4th club and the 5th club and the 6th club. And I've said the same thing to our coach, that, when financial pinch comes, if you have to sell a player, then that's what you have to do to preserve your football club. And I anticipate that a lot of clubs are going to be selling players in the next window. The question is, who can buy them? And right now, there's 29 clubs in the room that aren't putting up their hands to buy players. So, the truth will out, and, we'll see in the end, in the next transfer window, where all the sexy signings and small club acquisitions gravitate to. And history will show that they will gravitate to the big three. And so they should be able to get a lot of talent at this. But that, in relative comparison theory, spills down at each of your levels. So if you know your level as a club, if we look at our club, like I say to my coach, where have we been in the last 20 years? In the top 8. Where have we been in the last 8 years? Not in the top 4. So, from our perspective, nothing's really going to change if I lose a player. So all the other clubs around me are also going to be losing a star player. And pound for pound, I'm still going to be just outside the top 3, in a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 position, having a go at cups. So we'll come out of this maybe poorer. We'll come out of this streamlined. We'll come out of this hardened. We'll come out of this scarred. But we'll still come out of this as a competitive club in the PSL, relatively speaking, able to punch above our weight, able to finish in the top 8, and we'll be okay. And I think that kind of sensibility from clubs is, we need to be sober-minded. We need to understand that if it means selling a player to preserve the club, that's what football clubs are about. It's about staying afloat. And at the end of the day, you have to look at what sponsorship am I bringing in, what gate money am I bringing in, what television rights am I bringing in, and after that, your only other source of income is sale of players. So in this environment, it means many of us are going to be offloading players, and we all know where we offload players to. So for me, it's not a secret. It's a free market system where in wobbles like this, the strong should get stronger, and 1 or 2 smart players will be able to punch above their weight. We can't speak for other clubs, and what we can say is that we've seen correspondence from other clubs, sponsors, where monies have been withheld or deferred, where sponsors have expressed that they are taking strain and may not be able to continue with sponsorships if this carries on for long. And when you're faced with those types of situations, do you say to a sponsor, no, you must pay me, and face all sorts of negative consequences? Or do you want to keep a stakeholder? Do you want to keep a partner? Do you want to hold on to a relationship which in many instances has lasted long and the people have genuine problems? We don't take it that when the sponsor sends us a letter that they're having strain, that they're taking a chance because they want to save a few pennies. We take it that it's coming from a genuine partner who's telling us something because they're in pain and they're at risk. And those are the times where you want to stand next to your partner and you want to be with your partner, particularly in the tough times. And if your solidarity with them could maybe make a difference to their business, and you can stand by them for a few months and turn the situation around. First and foremost, it's the right thing to do. And secondly, it's good business sense to do, because relationships are what builds industries and contracts and sponsorships and everything. So, from our perspective, we want to look after our stakeholders. We want to preserve them. We want to make sure that they get through. From our club perspective, what would come out, the salient points that would come out of that process haven't really changed. In the fact that, as a club, we still see that there's a hope and prospect for us to complete the season, and that we have the scope mandated by FIFA to extend the season, and that gives us, the valuable commodity of time. And obviously, time isn't something that's indefinite and can carry on forever, but we certainly see prospects that as we come through, if the situation allowed, from a governmental perspective, from a Ministry of Health, from a Ministry of Sport, if we can comply with regulations, then we are positive and optimistic that we can see out the balance of the season. Under what conditions, that we have to see, what the macro environment allows us. And if closed doors is one of those solutions that the macro environment allows us, then certainly it's something that, we would quite obviously have to consider.